Hey guys, Doug here from Quill Films, and today we are going to be talking about NiSi neutral density filters, otherwise known as ND filters. Why are neutral density filters important, you may ask? Because they allow you to slow down light coming through the lens into the camera, hence enabling you to adjust exposure and depth of field. So without further ado, let's get started. NiSi Filters had sent me several different products. We have 3 ND filters. We have a 0.3, a 0.6, and a 0.9. I also have 2 diffusion filters, which I will get into at a later point. So let's start with our ND filters. As we can see, the packaging is, well, quite frankly, very nice. They're clean, they're sleek, I like them. I've already pre-cut the tops, but they're both sealed on the top and the bottom when you will receive them. They come in these Velcro pouches, which you can either safely stow away in a case, or what you can do is remove them and individually put them into this Velcro pouch, which is very nice. It will hold a full set of filters. They accordion out. They also leave you with these Velcro tabs, which are quite nice because you can label them and have quick access to it. For right now, when you unbox your IRNDs, you're going to receive enclosed a sleeve which looks like this. I've already torn the seal off so I know what they look like. But once you pull out the filter, they come pre-packaged in this paper enclosure for protection. Very nice. And the filters will look something like this. These are your standard 4x5.6 model. What I notice about this immediately, which is nice, is I have seen some types of filters designed to do a similar purpose, only they have a highly reflective element in front of the glass, particularly as you get higher up in the spectrum. What's nice about having a non-reflective element is that if you're shooting, actors generally do not want to see themselves in the camera. It can be distracting. So I think that's very helpful. From the ND 0.3, this looks very clean. It looks great. The edges are nicely designed. I've had some filters chip in the past when you're putting it into your filter trays. But this looks extremely well made. So I'm going to put this back. And we have a identical pouch. Again, nice that they label it for you. I've had ND filters arrived where you have to print your own labels, but it's great. As you can see here, it's already pre-labeled. I love it. So this is a thicker density, a 0.6, as we can see. Again, I see very low reflection on this, which is great. I've had filters, as I mentioned, where I can see my face, even at a 0.6 level. So that's nice not to have to look at my mug. But look very well made. So what I like to do now is we're going to shoot a short segment because I think it's always helpful to see these out of a clinical environment, which clearly we are not in, but let's actually get out in the real world and see how these filters perform.
Yes? Uh-huh. I understand. Yes, sir. I understand.
welcome back. What you just saw here was a short segment designed to test these filters in the field and see how they perform. And I gotta say, I'm very, very, very thrilled with these. And what I look for in any ND filter is hue shift and color shift, whether we get a magenta element to it or a green shift. The 3, the 6, and the 9 were great. I loved it. I saw 0 shift across the board. There was no magenta, no green. I'm very happy with these filters. The next thing I want to talk to you about are the, we have 2 sets of diffusion filters. We have the Allure Mist White. I went with the half because I wanted to see something a little bit heavier. I also went with a, let's see here. I went with the Allure Mist Black as well with a half because I wanted to see something heavier to see how they perform. I'd like to drop these in. I haven't tested them yet, but I'll drop them in and I will give you my thoughts on those actively as I shoot the video itself. First up, we have the Allure Mist Black. So let's drop that in. And what I noticed immediately is the blooming in the highlights. It appears to diffuse the highlights, and I'm also noticing it's reducing the contrast a bit. I think an overall softening of the image, which is nice. I can imagine this would work well with skin tones and blemishes, things of that nature. Next up, we have the Allure Mist White. So let's drop that in. And similar to the Allure Mist Black, it does bloom the highlights. It adds an overall misting effect. I do notice that the contrast is lowered. And overall, just a nice diffusion stylized filter to put in front of the lens. Lastly, what I'd like to show you is a viewing filter, which NiSi had sent me. This is essentially a variable ND filter that you can hold up to your eye. So what's great about this is, and several shoots when I've been gaffing, is you want to dial in some lights, and instead of blinding your eyes and dialing things in, or checking the sun for that matter, you can really adjust the ND on this. It's not going to give you an exposure because you don't know what the settings are, but as you're putting lights into place, you don't have to blind your eye and then wait for it to adjust to reset. So that's another great thing. Great tool to have. Like all these are great tools to have. Anyways, guys, I hope this helps to shed a little bit of light on some of these products, and ultimately you have to try them out for yourself and make your own decisions. But it is my hope here today that I've given you a little bit more insight to help make that choice a little bit easier for you. My final conclusions are, I think these are great filters. Again, what I set out to check was that there would be low contamination, low IR contamination, low to 0 shifts into the green or to the magenta, and I think they accomplished that very well. Again, my final thoughts are, I wish that the printing were on the top for me personally. Otherwise, you can flip the filters upside down and just reorient it yourself. But the filters did exactly what I thought they should be designed to do. The pouch, I think, is great. The filter is also an extremely helpful tool. And if you want to add a little bit of diffusion or a little bit of style to your shoot, I think these 2 types of filters are really a great another tool to add to your belt. Again, guys, these are all just tools to add to your inventory. It's you, the filmmaker, who has to get out there and shoot and decide for yourself what you want to do. But I hope this helps, and thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day.